Katina second? Yeah, that's actually brilliant. That's actually brilliant. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's actually really funny.
Yeah, in all seriousness, guys, we only took a couple names here. Lyft, we were sitting in this short all day. Unity as well, too. We got the nice downside move and a small scalp on Amazon. Oh, I seen who did this one. I think Jeff Goldblum. So we'll steal that one from there. It's the new Halt, apparently, formation. No, but we'll throw them all out there. Thank you guys all once again. Or we could throw up that as well, too. No, in all seriousness, hey, Jody, have a good one.
Polos again, my boy.
Oh, are you crazy?
No, not now.
I know, yeah. I mean, like the air is on in here right now. We'll wait until the summertime when things get a little bit more warmer. But fantastic stuff as always. A good one going over the news, guys. A solid trading session. Make sure you keep it green and be patient out there. We're gonna send it off to Neil and Sean right now, guys.
Yo.
Everybody.
Looking to see if there's any movies on I'd take my kid to tonight instead of going on to hockey. There's not too much in the theaters right now.
Oh, really?
No. We'll figure it out.
There was some good trailers at the Super Bowl.
Welcome to the jungle. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a good year. What is?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about Canada, Czechia over here tomorrow. You know what? It's not for us. Somebody's mic. Something's not good here. My ear. I'll take this out. We'll get that figured out. Yeah, Olympics on right now. That should be a good one. I don't know if there's any stocks we could trade that are Olympic-related stocks. I mean, maybe some of the hotels or the travel names. I don't know.
Team Canada's wearing Lulu, for what it's worth.
Yeah. They always do, though.
They rotate. They've been Lulu for a few years now. Not that it makes that big of a difference. Actually not hearing anything in my ear, which is weird.
Hopefully now it's fixed.
So hopefully that's fixed. We're good to go. Thank you, Andre. Everything sounds good there. No, the last thing, well, I don't know. I think I heard you say it, or maybe someone in the chat said it, or the boys were talking about it, how the banks were not looking too good today, and the XLF
is down 2%.
Was looking down, and Morgan Stanley's down a point, and it's starting to look a little bit, because we got this half V-shaped recovery going on in the market, right? So a lot of things are bouncing, obviously, and it's not happening with the banks. Maybe that's not the best example to talk about Morgan Stanley. XLF's a better example because it's actually doing, it's worse. Morgan's holding up pretty well. You're back into the 200 period moving average on the financials, led by, obviously, JP Morgan, on a day where we're getting a good recovery. And this is the most interesting thing to me, because this same poll was in the chat in the morning when we were doing the morning show. And I remember, it was a different one. It was the jobs report, and then we got a different one. Sorry, this is the one I want from the old show, from the midday show. Jobs report cooked, this is from the midday. What was your move today? When we had this poll when the market was tanking, the number one answer was fade the pop. Now that the market's bouncing, it's like risk on, Nvidia, Tesla specifically. Not that much interest in metals and not that much interest in crypto. That I would agree with, because ETH is still under 2K, Bitcoin's at 67, and not looking exactly the best. But the poll for the afternoon is, how's the market treating you today? So winning, caught the moves. That wasn't necessarily true the whole time. Confused sitting out, getting chopped up. Oh, there it goes. And flat taking the day off. So getting chopped up and winning, caught the moves is gonna be the bulk of it. For myself, I would say it was in the morning. I wouldn't say getting chopped up because everything was pretty decisive, but it was like win, lose, win, lose. But then you catch a couple of good moves off the bottom, get to green today, I think was probably the manner in which most people would have had their day form out. But yeah, still trying to figure out what specifically is going on with the banks. I know there was a 10-year auction, but that really, it was at 1 o'clock, that really wouldn't explain why JP Morgan's been trending down the whole day. And XLF has been trending down the whole day.
We come back and still in some of those longs, but I want to show everybody something. Uh-oh. Here it is, right here. Where's Joey Opsh? We bought a little bit right here. We bought a little bit of BTC here over lunchtime. So, we're in around that 66K mark right here, Joey. Yeah, we're ready. You saw me boxing there in the middle of the day as we're ready to get boxed up there on crypto. And obviously, I'm not buying it to sell it right away. I only put 66K because that's where we bought it. Now it's at 67. I mean, we're not trying to scalp in and out of here. If I scalped out, I'd make a cup of coffee right now. But nice move for Bitcoin today to the downside. Just trying to layer into it a little bit. It feels like it, may have. It's too bad because we absolutely that first dump there. We should have had that piece, but it's all good. You can see the trades I have on board right now. It's all good. But IBIT right here. Have we found a bottom? No. But you know, potentially worth dipping into a little bit. I didn't buy anything on the way down. You know, I think the last time I actually bought it was like 102 or something like that, which is a disaster buy. But now you're all the way back down into the 60s. So we'll average that and keep on hoping that Bitcoin eventually battles back. And I don't know, Joe said like when we get back to all-time high, we may never get back to all-time high. But, you know, if we don't, we don't. And if we do, then I'll have some on board. So that's something that we're willing to wait on and see where that goes for BTC. I think there is I don't know. I think there's probably a 20% chance that we may never get back to all-time highs. But risky there. But I'm buying it. I mean, if I didn't think we were going to get up there, then I wouldn't. But I think there's a chance that happens. We may have seen it. But, you know, we just like, are we ever going to get down to 20 again? You know, I mean, it's kind of the same situation. I feel like 20% chance we get down to like 10 or 15K and 20% chance in the next, I mean, he was saying next year, but that we get back up to the all-time highs again. So we'll try it. But anyways, IBIT. And then Tesla, I actually I didn't make a post. I was going to make a post about averaging in. I made it on our Trader TV. We're sort of testing out the Trader TV Academy page right there. So I was going through the Trader TV Live Academy and putting lessons that I learned myself. And it was just kind of like, wait and be patient for the levels. And we had written down 422 early, like when we came in this morning, 422, right? So the stock was at 424. It rips up to 436, and I completely lose track of, you know, prices. And as it's coming back down, we buy the 200, we buy in here 424, and then finally we just put on the most amount of shares that we had down into here on this 422 level because finally came into the level that we were waiting for, and the same story is true on Nvidia. So there it goes, boom, comes back in, buy, comes back in, buy again. So all these buys are 422. So we're smoking with this one now as Tesla now $3 in the money. And the same story is true for Nvidia as that's multiple dollars in the money as well. So yeah, man, just being patient, waiting for your levels. Like I wrote down 189.50. Come on, man. So that was a good one there. We were able to make our money back and put Nvidia to the green side today as well. So yeah, man, just learned a lot today, learning a lot every single day. And that's the one thing about this job is, well, it's a job, but I more consider it just like, I don't know, not a pastime, but when I'm sitting here trading, it's more like a sport for me. Trying to compete, you know, with myself every single day, try to get better and, you know, improve on many different things. So that's what we're doing there with Tesla, and we're putting it up, right? You can never increase your share size until you finally do. So I'm trying to find out the right spots to do that on, and I think we're getting better every single day.
That's what it's all about, right? Like it's that path, and we're talking, but you're just sort of talking about the academy. It's that path to something that gets said a lot, to being a consistently positive trader, discipline. A lot of discipline is what we're going to be talking about for sure. Maybe we have made a bit of a temporary bottom in crypto. Like Bitcoin's at 67. We're almost at 2,000 on ETH. BMNR, which was weak. Mr. Tom is now through VWAP and approaching some of the levels from this morning. I don't know how much I'm going to like that 20 if we get there. That's just the reality. I feel like we're in a little bit of a different spot. Like this is eerily similar to, maybe not yesterday, but like a few days in the last few weeks where all I'm during lunchtime, everything just sort of sets up these mean reversion trades, and all I'm doing is taking a mean reversion trade. Oh, and by the way, that MWH, that IPO, it did hold 29. You're rinsed if you took the opening print. There's no way. I mean, you could have held it $1 against you, I suppose. But you were rinsed if you took the opening print. Maybe you could have scalped something out. It did reject off 31. Trying to hang on to VWAP. It never flat bottom broke that 29 yet. So if you're trading that IPO, it is back under VWAP now, back under the $30 level. We're gonna get to the rundown in a second, but we got a super chat from Lunch 911. I thought you were going to read it.
No. You can go. You go ahead.
What do we got? Happy you caught that Tesla. I caught it first thing in the morning based on the sticky note.
Oh.
First thing in the morning. Where was Tesla first thing in the morning?
Yeah, it was, I guess you just must have liked it right there. First thing in the morning, it was around, I mean, if you caught it here, 420, 426. But yeah, glad that you had done that. And thank you again for checking out the sticky note. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that right there. I thought we were going back to the desk. All right, back over now. Sharif is ready. Let's not make this man wait. Still long Tesla, still long Nvidia, and we'll go back over to the desk and figure it all out.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. C&I, we're locked and loaded. The big boys, they're locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on the Afternoon Rundown, you have to join us in the chat, and you have to vote for your favorite tickers every day. But don't forget to throw in that $sign before the ticker of your choice. Otherwise, it doesn't register. Let's look at all four major averages here to start before we look at the first ticker. They're, well, 2 are positive, 2 are negative. The triple Qs leading the way as, that's a nice change, up 0.25%. The SPY positive, but barely up 0.6. The Dow, after making all-time highs, down 0.16 on the day, and the IWM Russell 2000 ETF, the worst performing of the four major averages on the day, down 0.7. Let's look at Tesla, the #1 ticker as decided by you guys, barely negative, down 0.04. It's riding a 4-day winning streak here that we're on the precipice of a breaking. Separately, there was a cloud headline today with Tencent from China.
Yeah, but I have another headline. So Tesla Semi is set to enter the series production in 2026. So as we know it, Semi is the electric truck which was first unveiled back in 2017. And the company advertised earlier a starting price of, let's say, around $150,000 for the 300-mile range version, which is the standard range. Yeah. And for the 500-mile variant, it quoted $180,000. However, those prices are apparently outdated because Tesla never really took action on that. Nope. Currently, Tesla is quoting $290,000 for its 500-mile electric semi-truck, and we wonder why BYD is doing better. Sure.
Yeah, ambitious Elon, guys. Yeah. Ambitious Elon. The other headline that we were talking about there from Tencent, now you can basically sync WeChat in your car, give you suggestions, navigation, etc. So good look for Tesla in China, guys, as it sits at that break-even point.
So as we noted there in the note, thanks Sharif and Sia here. Yeah, so we had just wrote it down here off Tesla, and we noted that Tencent story as well, right? I think it's not the most important of stories, but something to look at. And you know, today I was a little struggling to try to find something to trade, to be honest with you. It was seemed like a little bit of a difficult opportunity before the numbers to write that down, and we were talking about the numbers there, the jobs numbers. So this morning we saw Tesla, and we'd seen, Brendan had indicated it right off the jump there, that it was 4 straight up days, bouncing nicely off that $400 marker. So if we're going to look, that's just today's trade for me. We're still in it, so whatever. But this is I was just looking right into here, and this is why it's, you know, often picking stock and picking levels, you're just kind of looking for rough kind of areas for support, right? And so this 422 to me was there. So obviously there's that dip down to 420. This already happened today, so forget about all this. But looking backwards, if you take away, you know, maybe we can do that. If we sort of go, now I'm going to lose it. But anyways, okay. If you don't see what happens today, just kind of had 22s there on as an idea. Yesterday we did dip below a little bit, but just try to thought, hey, if we had a move, where could we get supported at? And I just kind of chose 422, and that was a good level there today. It does whoosh down into 420, sorry. And I don't know, we didn't really expect that kind of a move, but then when it came back in, it became a little bit of a risky trade. So I didn't trade it the best. As I said, I'm here to, you know, fully admit that this price at the 200 period, we started it there, then we just basically averaged it all the way to 422. So if we had broke 420, we were going to have a problem on our hands. Thankfully, we didn't do that. We were able to buy more, and then that 422 came basically once, twice, 3 times, and here we go. Now you're right back up to VWAP. This is a $4 winner, and you're banger right there. So for me, this is a huge trade. It's $4. Exactly pretty much as we planned it to go. Just this early part was the tricky part. But hey, you know, I don't have that exact crystal ball that I wish I did. But there's 422, and here we go to VWAP. Hey guys, you know what we do at VWAP? We take some out right there. So we'll take another piece out on this one. $4. So look, we're $4.20 in the money, and the bid price was $4.20 that held. So I don't know exactly what we're indicating here, but it might be that kind of a day. And especially if you're in this Tesla trade, celebrate.
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of a day. Unless you have, you don't need a crystal ball, you just need a magic 8 ball, which
or a sticky note.
It doesn't work anymore. Which says, all right, Tesla's already had their earnings and they were pretty good. Is Randy going to be a happy gentleman tomorrow when Rivian has their earnings in the space?
No, no matter what, Randy doesn't have enough shares. He's already said that. He needs to get longer. Randy's hoping for a disaster for Rivian.
Well, it says it is certain. So so the Magic 8 Ball says that Rivian's going to have a good day because Randy will be happy if he already owns shares. I don't know whether that's going to be true, but in terms of looking at, Sean was sort of just saying, sometimes you find yourself at a support level. It's like, okay, when the market was at the low, blah, blah, all that good stuff. You go back a couple of days, there was a dip zone on Rivian right in here at 1433, and it just trends right into it. So for myself, I'm sitting in Rivian right now because it bounced off this, broke this trend line from the lower high, and then jump into the long and look to play it back into that this prior resistance level and the volume weighted average price. So that also happens to be the volume weighted average price. So that's the plan of action there, and we're talking about this for the lesson of the day as well. Like, sometimes the stock will come into a support and resistance. It's like, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, break the trend and pounce. That's why I like these trend breaks. Because if it bounces off my level, then you can get the long, and sometimes you can have the stop at the low, you can have the stop at the prior bar, whatever it might be. I'm not as hopeful as Randy on, well, as the Magic, I shouldn't say Randy, as the Magic 8 Ball just said on Rivian. It's got a few things going against it here, obviously. This is not necessarily the market that's been rewarding companies that lose money, and they're still losing a lot of money per vehicle, and I don't think that that's going to change. Although if there's a huge dent in efficiencies tomorrow, I suppose that could be, that would be a good thing. If all of a sudden they can trim, they're not going to be making money. That's not going to happen tomorrow. But if there's a massive shift, let's just say, in getting towards profitability would be the best way to think about it. I think that's what it would take for Rivian to have a good print tomorrow. We'll see. Number 2 on the list is a mystery to me. I did not cheat again.
It's Nvidia, Neil, up 1.8%. A few headlines on this one. Let's start with UBS, raising the price target from 235 to 245, maintaining the same buy rating, though, on Nvidia. Separately, there was reports out of the Taipei Times that Nvidia is signing a contract to build a headquarters there in Baitu Shilin Park. So that's something to look out for, expanding in Taiwan. And then separately, Howard Lutnick signals no wiggle room for Nvidia on China chip controls. He addressed licensing requirements of these advanced AI chips. He said Nvidia must adhere to the detailed licensing terms for the sale of its second most advanced chips. We are, of course, talking about the H200 to China. He explains here that the terms, which were developed in collaboration with the State Department, are detailed and non-negotiable.
Wow. And coming back to certain companies, Sharif, we know Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta, all the companies are planning to increase their spending collectively, individually in 2026. So to do this, they all will be needing chips from Nvidia as we know it. Also, a couple of minutes ago, just in that Ro Khanna, a California Democrat, took over as the ranking member on the Select Committee of China earlier this year, and has signaled that he's going to be open for the sale of older Nvidia Hopper chips, which is not what his predecessor would have said or would have taken the decision on.
That's interesting, because I think that's maybe one of the first Democrats we've heard say that.
100%.
So interesting. Look, good call on that, Sia. All right, guys, Nvidia up 1.78.
Yeah.
Look, like my chip stock today was Intel, so I'll talk about that in a quick second. But after we let Sean go, the only problem with Nvidia right now seems to be this, like the 192 to 194 on the daily chart. You know it's coming. It just hasn't happened yet. A matter of breaking out over this top on the daily, but it's accumulating in a good way. The last dip was a flush under the 200-period moving average, and then a huge jump back up. We got the 50 again. You're consolidating. The dips are getting, after a wipeout bottom there, the dip's now pretty shallow. So I think all systems go. At some point, we're going to get this 195 break, which is going to be a very probably a crowded trade. Besson says, I see a pickup in manufacturing jobs in the coming months. I expect to continue pickup in construction jobs. Oh, I like that. The industrials have been absolutely crushing it, the industrials.
Yeah, it makes sense there as we look for data center builds. I mean, Vertiv, such a big quarter. Look, today on the note, same note, sticky note, we talked about that. 189 to 90 long. And there it is right there off Vertiv. Great report. Justifies the build out. NVIDIA is the #1 benefit here of all these data center upsides, I would think. And obviously there's the building stocks, as we just talked about. But yeah, so Nvidia, we had it written down here. And the problem is that we got psyched out early, right? I mean, this whole move that happened off that jobs report really sent the market to the upside. So I was like, I want to buy Nvidia. And it was up here. So we just kept on buying, kept on buying, kept on buying. And eventually it falls into our 189 to 190 area. Like, this is the area that we wrote down on our note, right? So this is it right here, 189 to 190. This is the area that we wrote down. This is the only area that I should be long. But again, without that crystal ball, no idea that we were actually going to fall into here. So I was trying to support VWAP up here, trying to support the 200 period right there. But finally it comes back in. We let it settle down, make that bottom at 189, then just push to 189.50 long. And that's where we're long right now, 189.60. We're back to Greensville. So this is a green stock, but nowhere near as much as it should be, considering all the trades that we have. So yeah, not too happy with Nvidia trading, but we already talked about this when it was happening. And I said, okay, so we've already hit the top there, and Nvidia's basically been range bound. Forget about, that's his earnings. So if you just take away earnings and you go all the way back to, let's just call it July, that was the top, and then we basically had a range for all of July all the way to February. The only time we broke above it was in anticipation of earnings. So that's going to come up again. So it wouldn't surprise me again if, in anticipation of earnings coming in the next couple weeks, the 25th exactly, so 14 days today, join us on Wednesday, February 25th, as we'll be doing a late show for earnings that day. I have to get my hair cut that day. I may not be here. But that one should be this will be the next time we get up to the high side for Nvidia in anticipation of earnings. So it wouldn't surprise me now if we start ramping up. Your boy over here is going to be going long pretty much every single day on Nvidia if we find a catalyst that we like. So I like the long. I'm going to push that narrative. And yeah, Nvidia hopefully upside into 205, 210, whatever that high is right there, back in for earnings. So I'm excited for Nvidia. I hope you guys are too.
Yeah, look, I think, look, by the way, they report on the 25th, right? So the sad thing about that, well, the good news is we are going to obviously be doing the aftermarket show on that day. That's one of the most...
That's what we've already said. That was a joke.
Yeah, one of the givens.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but like, I literally have that day off, as usual. Every other year I miss it.
All right.
But the daughter comes first, and she has one. They've got an assembly at school, and we always make sure at least one of us is there 100%. It's one of my... one of the coolest. Well, that's very nice of you, but it's like, it's just literally something you're supposed to do, man. It's just called being a dad. No, but if you've ever had that moment where the kids walk into the gym and they're looking around and they're like, what's going on? And you know what they're doing? They're just looking to see if their parent is there, and then there's that one moment. And it's not just when your own kid does it, it's when you see like other kids too, and they're looking around. Like, if some of our neighbors, I'll be there and I'll see, I won't say the name, but I'll see like one of Aaron's friends looking around for the dad.
Yeah, my wife videotapes it for other people as well.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. We do that. We have group chats and we make sure we get everyone in, because not everybody can make it. You got to work at the end of the day. I'm fortunate to be able to take it off, have Obi come in and be able to do a job.
Yeah. Shout out to Obi.
Yeah, 100%, Honey P. I just want to add one thing. I believe Nvidia is going to break that 195, and I think it looks good. And I think everything about it looks pretty strong. I'm not as convinced about what's going on here with Intel, even though came in with a long idea off 47 for Intel today. I still want to point this 50 rejection over and over again on this chip name in particular. So as much as I was bullish on this off the 47, that's what I had off the note. That's where it got to. We let it get to that price. Short early. Obviously misses short in here, but we like that 47 bottom. If we keep making lower highs, I don't know how much I'm going to like that 47 bottom again. It's been holding pretty well, but this doesn't look like others, because Nvidia is at the top and trending higher. Intel might be holding a support, but it looks like we're rejecting that top, not pressing into it, which makes a big difference. Let's see what's next on the list. Sharif, what do you got for us?
We got Robinhood, Neil, and it is down a little bit less than 10%, 9.92. We know that they reported earnings after the bell yesterday. It was a beat on the bottom line, but a miss on that revenue number. And that had a whole bunch of different rating agencies coming in today. Goldman maintaining that same that same buy rating, but dropping the price target to 130 from 152. Piper Sandler maintains overweight as well, lowering the price target from 155 to 135. Then Robinhood also got the note from Barclays, who maintained their overweight rating, but again, dropping it from 159 to 124. And last but not least, Citizens reiterates market perform on Robinhood and maintains the same price target, see $180.
Yeah, and I'm just going to quickly go over the numbers once again for viewers who missed that before when we discussed it on the show. Options revenue has jumped 41%. Equities trading revenue has risen 54%. Crypto revenue down 38% to 221 million, Sharif. Net interest revenue has risen 39% to 411 million. Operating expenses have increased 38% to 633 million.
All right, boys, 9.75 in negative territory.
Those are good 100-meter times. But it's like that's the only time you want to see that. You don't want to see that as a percentage down, obviously. You step on the track and run that, and you're probably going to win a medal. Today, this is going to put you, you know what? I was going to say it puts you in the doghouse, but there's actually a pretty decent chance for Robinhood. Like the aftermarket bounce, if we want to even call it that, was right around here at this 77.5 mark. And we're decent chance of holding that. So you might have a situation with Robinhood where you had a prior key support. There's what I like to call liquidity grab underneath. Like liquidity grab, you flush on volume underneath the support level, and then boom, when on the other side you're breaking away. Well, we dip right into that same level, maybe another liquidity grab, and if we close above 78, not bad. That means you have a higher low. So maybe not the best quarter in the world, obviously crypto taking a bit of a bath, and that's not gonna help them out. But at the end of the day, this had already dumped. It did not make a fresh low, right? And it has a chance to hold on to a prior support level if we can get another 50 cents and hold it in the next 90 minutes or so. So really, structurally not all that bad. From a technical standpoint, some of the credit is due to the fact that it lost 33% from this recent drop into the 70 low. So I'm not going to be that bullish unless we close above 78. I'll feel pretty good about it and come in thinking about a bounce. It will be SSR tomorrow, which I think that's a benefit. The day two SSR stock, when it doesn't have, because at the higher low, you've already had the earnings, that's a pretty solid play at times. Just a little bit harder for people to go short. Doesn't mean you can't go short, just a little bit harder, and it can help it get a bounce. So I kind of like what I see in terms of the price action for Robinhood, even if obviously they got beaten up when it came to crypto.
So the top three stocks are all on our list here again today. So there's Robinhood, right? Looking for 78. And, we didn't get 78. It never came through. If anything, it was a short. Oops, I don't even have it up. Oh, by the way, Tesla. Now $6. Okay, here's Robinhood. So 78, basically right off the jump is crushed. So the market opens up, and this is why you got to join us at 8 a.m. or, somewhere time around then, when we discuss the opening sort of run and what we're looking for in a trade, or join us at any time before market opens. And on earnings, you don't sit around and just let a stock come and fill you. You let it bounce around. I think if I wasn't so obsessed with Tesla and Nvidia this morning, might have got caught up in the long rate around here, thinking that hey, this bottom was probably the bottom. And now it's time to go back up to the upside. Thankfully, we did not have a chance to look at that. And then it just dropped out, right? And around 10 o'clock, I'm noticing, between 10 to 10:30, a lot of the stocks will start to base out just a bit. So I actually like this area for support. But now that we're get off this ellipse, now that we're looking at that 78, it looks just as good to me now as maybe it did before. So we're trying to see if we can break through, and if you do, then you do have VWAP support and everything. So I like Robinhood for the long now. As far as today, if we're going to play a dip, then the 200 period might be something good. Once we finally broke it, it started to go back up to the upside, changing the trend to the long. So I would say support down here right now, 75 and change for Robinhood, but I don't know. You saw me. I already posted it up. We went in there over on X. I posted that we just recently right now we stepped into BTC. So now I went in, I should have put it was with IBIT. So we bought that with some IBIT there. And now we'll wait to see. Yeah, I got you. I said that to Joe before that we stepped in there and bought some. So just during the midday, if Bitcoin's going to work, I know Robinhood can work. It's just I'm in this name, and it's been SoFi so bad right now for SoFi. But we're gonna hold on this. There's only so much disturbed fintech names that I need to have my hands on right now, and they're full, overloaded with SoFi shares. So I'm gonna wait on Robinhood and SoFi until the dust settles, because today, as we talk about Robinhood, the XLF is getting smoked to the downside right here. Collateral damage done with emotional damage as we break down below this 53 spot. Damage. Yes, so that's interesting. As my kids always say, they have emotional damage, and I have no idea where it's from, but there it is, 52.70 break back into the 200 period moving average. So the financials aren't necessarily doing too well today. So Robinhood, SoFi, all of them, even the biggest of the baddest, JP Morgan, down to 310 here today. All right, man. So far on my board today, we've had Nvidia, Tesla, Robinhood. The only one left is IBIT. So we'll see what the fourth stock is that we're going to talk about right now.
It's not IBIT. Let's say it's IBIT adjacent. Silver, Sean, 4.11 in green territory. This one started off strong in the morning. See, it was gapping up before we got the jobs numbers. Yeah. But we got the more positive jobs numbers, so it's having some endless feel here, like we could continue to rise as interest rates, or interest rate cuts could get kicked down to later this year. So 4.2% right now, SLV.
That's all I've got.
All right, guys. So what do you guys think about the argument here that we're getting stronger than expected jobs numbers? The inflation isn't really taking up all that aggressively. Do you see the rate cuts coming in a little bit earlier, or do you think some of the strength here in the jobs numbers keeps the rate cuts for later this year?
Well, I mean, we can also just simply have a look at what the market is telling you to do. It's like it's one thing for us to tell you, oh, well, I think the Fed's going to do this. There's literally betting markets and futures markets that will tell you what the odds are. Now, March has never been a big chance at a cut, but what we were doing before was simply going out. There we go. Going out to December and having a look-see. And if you look at December, right, to get to the 3 3/4 target, that's 2 cuts. So we're still looking at, this works out to about 70%. So we're at a 70% chance we get at least 2 cuts by the end of the year. That is actually held true, despite the numbers this morning. And then you go a step further, you kind of subtract that, and you're still getting a 37% chance that you get 3. So we're still kind of pricing in, or at least the futures market, and this is updated from this morning, still pricing in that we're looking at over 2 cuts probability by the end of the year. I would have thought that strong job number would make it a little bit less likely, but it doesn't really matter. You've got the real market to look at, so you don't have to speculate because it tends to be very accurate. You just go to FedWatch.
You're my wife.
If you don't want to go to FedWatch, you can pull it up on Polymarket as well, or on Kalshi, and just look at those betting markets to see about rate cuts. So, I kind of feel why speculate if there is. It's like trying to figure out, like, oh, well, what do I think the spread should be on the Big Ten championship game? I have Big Ten on the mind because the Big Ten looks amazing in the NCAA basketball this year. Oh, yeah? The Big Ten's going to dominate the tournament.
Are they dominating?
First of all, it's also not the Big Ten anymore. Like, when you have crap like UCLA and USC is now in the Big Ten and there's 20 teams in it, it just doesn't even make sense. But anyways, but like, why would I try to figure out what those odds would be when I can just look at the Vegas line and it's going to be cash money and it'll be dead on. It's the right place to go. So defer to the tool. It still says we're looking at more than 2 cuts this year, and that's for now what matters.
Yeah, your boy's been gambling before he was investing, so I am very aware of them lines. Okay, so we were talking about silver. Yeah, I mean, looking at silver, I think that there's a spot. I don't own any in my portfolio. I've never owned. I know, shocker, eh, Fabian? But I've been owning gold, and I don't know. I like both. I like both as a hedge against, the monetary system failures and all of that. But if you held Bitcoin for that reason, then we have a button for that. that didn't work out too well. But gold's just been on, obviously, a multi-decade run, and as has silver. So, you know, what goes up must come down a bit. I really do think that that's not always true, but I do think that a bid into the 50-period moving average, I'll put on my Brian Shannon hat here a little bit and say, like, you know, it's trying to find a base, and when it does, I think we buy a little bit of it. So, you know, to me, not to say 420 again, but 440 into 420, like those areas down into here, I think for gold is worth it. And I could probably just call up the exact same thing here on silver and probably have a similar opinion, except for silver actually pulled back a lot more into, oh, come on. There it is. More into the 50-period moving average right now. I'd give silver a little breath more than what it has. So I would give this probably down to 65 to start buying. But I'm going to hitch my wagon to GLD and to see if there's going to be a Bitcoin rebound rather than SLV. But I love this as a trading tool. The biggest trade I ever made on the show, despite an IPO, was the silver on the day that it cranked. We were short 90 and was covering it in the 70s. So I definitely have love for SLV, but for now, maybe more love for SWV, if you catch that reference. Let's go back up to the desk with Sharif for number 5 with Sharif and
Hopefully
Sia.
this one doesn't make us weak in the knees.
Yes, it will not.
This is the small cap gapper. Boys, I do apologize. QNCS, Quince Therapeutics, up big yesterday and even bigger in the aftermarket. It failed 98 pennies. That's a quadruple top of, I don't know, a lot of rejections at 95 pennies. Sia, apparently they're moving up here on a strategic move. They're looking at strategic alternatives, and they've engaged this life science capital to explore alternatives at maximizing shareholder value, potential partnerships, and restructuring the company's liabilities.
So, like you said, LifeSci Capital will be advising Quince Therapeutics on any potential restructuring of its liabilities. But another thing to note here is that QNCX shares have declined nearly 96% since January 28 to this week's Monday, which is a big number, Sharif. And the results have prompted Lucid Capital to double downgrade since Quince Therapeutics to sell from buy with a price target of 0 down from $8.
That's your typical small cap gapper stock there, guys. Some of the options on the table include partnerships, joint ventures, mergers, acquisitions. They're basically looking at restructuring any way they can, up 19 1/3.
You know what, Sharif, I was so close to trading this. He turned and he said flat top break on QNCX, and so I turned over. I'm like, okay. It's at 95 cents. It's got that dollar level for a breakout. It's like 1, 2, 3. It was testing it for a 4th time, and it didn't break. But you know what? I'm going to slap a fail for what seems like an obvious reason for me. But there was a trade here. Uh-oh. There's the low. There's the higher low. I'm sitting there looking for this breakout trade, but what does it do? It breaks the trend, and guess what it has not done? What? Looked back. So it actually, instead of looking for the breakout trade, there was a trend break. It's now headed lower. Anytime, it's never, look, first of all, it's not a good sign that you're underneath the dollar in the first place, but it's also not a good sign to fail the dollar level. The fact that this got up there without pressing through a buck multiple times, like someone was just over the top ringing the register and holding it underneath. That's about as bad a sign. It's probably going to halt to the downside at some point, but probably as bad a sign as you're going to get for a penny stock. But you know what? The ride up, if you're trading a penny stock from 20 cents and 25 cents and you don't think ringing the register in front of $1 makes sense, then don't trade penny stocks. That's part of the game. The 50-cent level matters. The dollar level is going to matter almost every single time. So I don't really know too much about QNCX outside of looking at the technicals today. Throw the super chat up to Andre. We can get it. SanDisk. From David, thank you for the super chat there, David. Etched in your little 24 square feet of grass. SNDK still going 12% on SNDK. You know, one of the things about this is it never really fell apart. I think sometimes that can be a nice little sign. Instead of trying to bottom pick, maybe you find something that's able to hold a higher low and doesn't have the weakness that the market does. As the memory chip, they blew it out on earnings, but sometimes it's like it's just gone so far. It had some trouble with the 700. If this is all that it pulls back, I feel it's going to defy people once again over on SNDK.
Yeah, good.
Another one.
Oh.
Lunch 911. Actually, Lunch was not that bad. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the super chat. I will once again give a solid B to the tilapia. They've turned the corner. It doesn't suck anymore. I'm not saying it's great, but solid enough.
All right, we are, yes, just looking at that. I do appreciate what you're saying in the chat there, my friend, about 192 for Nvidia by Dogo Dog right there. Guys, get into the chat. We're always reading it. We're going to figure out what's going on. You can ask us anything you want. There it is right here. What about Nvidia at 192? Yeah, I mean, it is getting stopped out in that area. So we're just going to wait to see if it blows upside. We have very small amount of shares left on Nvidia. If it goes, it goes. I'm just going to try to hold this back until we finally break the 200 period at 190.150. I want to be here in case the market does take off into the close. You know, we've got $5 on Tesla. We just took some more out there as Tesla just keeps on piecing itself back upside here. We like this stock. Let's see where it goes. Tesla for now on my mind, and thinking about an upside play here. So maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But so far on Tesla, nice upside play there. We'll hold on to Nvidia. And let's just go look to see what you guys want to trade right now. So we have the trade visualizer. We want to say thank you to Fabian for this one. I could maybe reset it. Let's reset this right now because we just covered a lot of these. QNCX, we just did all of these right now. So I'm going to reset it. I mean, Vertiv, huge, huge, huge. Interesting to see Netflix down here today, down to $80 again. Like, what's up with that? That's an interesting level there for Netflix. Let's fresh start this. So there we go. We've cleared it out. Now, guys, put whatever you want up in here, and then we'll decide where we're going from here. But it's Netflix is what you guys want us to talk about. Robinhood's on there. Okay, American Rebel. I don't know much about that. We could definitely have a look over there. Microsoft, so on and so forth. SoFi getting some love on the board as well here. So, yeah, lots of stock to talk about here today. But different than most days because we don't have too many small cap runners. Microsoft, Netflix, there's the Netflix move. AREB, we can look at that. American Rebel, we just talked about it. SoFi. So SoFi we had, I will get back to that. Let me let that build out and then we'll cover what's going on with it. All right, so Nvidia, you might have been onto something there. It does look like it wants to break a little bit lower, obviously. So maybe a look at Nvidia at some point. There, but we said SoFi. SoFi at $20 is interesting. I mean, right now you've bounced off of that $20 mark, and despite the market trying to pull a little bit, SoFi's holding out to the upside. So I think that's a pretty good look there for SoFi. The fact that it is holding up now against a bad XLF read. So obviously it was going to get hit today. I shouldn't say obvious. I never know what's going to happen, but with that bad number from Robinhood. Bad crypto report there on year-over-year crypto trading down 37% or whatever it was there. SoFi going to get hit on that. But I really think SoFi as a bank with their bank charter and everything does have a much bigger moat around it. And I think it can wind up working in this environment. So let's just go over here and check out AMD because bank stocks will be hot again. They're just not hot today. I mean, they were just almost at all-time highs, some of the bank names, just a couple days ago. Earnings happened, obviously, at the beginning of January, mid-January, and sent them all back to the downside. Nice recovery day there for AMD. AMD was like straight down like many stocks were off the jump and just kept on bleeding, man, and then made a move back to VWAP, and now we're trying to hold VWAP. What about a break right now on AMD? That could be something to head to the south side if you thought this market was a little overheated now to the high side. I mean, we were up about almost 1% there off the jobs number, and then just once the market opened, it was like, no thank you. It bounced around early a little bit, gave names like Nvidia the run to the high side, gave Palantir reasons to go higher, and then the market just fell, and we saw Tesla fall back in, everything came back, and now we're trying to battle and hold. So I like the 50-period hold on the Nasdaq. I'm looking long. Like, I'm long right now. I'm not really trying to sell any of these until higher. So I feel like this is an opportunity to go higher. The only smaller cap name that I saw on the board was this American Rebel that you guys had mentioned to us.
Halted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't really know a whole, heck of a lot about this, but it is what it is. Halted right now, AREB to the high side, which is maybe why that hit. So we always say attention to Adara if there's anything on AREB maybe to the high side for this name, but there it is, halted right now, down 53%. Oh, opened right now. So open. Oh, it's Sia and Adara, whoever's back there, can definitely have a look.
I have a headline from this morning. American Rebel Holding announces strategic transition to OTC markets. and confirms board decision not to appeal Nasdaq delisting determination. So
they're not going to reverse split or anything.
They're just gonna move to the OTC.
Okay.
But like, keep in mind.
It's all good, baby.
So we've had Jeff on this before, right? It's a pretty orderly transition these days. Like, it'll be on the Nasdaq. I don't know the date. I'm kind of reading this article. I didn't necessarily see a date in here as to when they would move to the OTC. So without knowing that, if and when it does happen, it would just one day you see it on the Nasdaq and the next day it'll be on the OTC markets. Usually it's a pretty orderly. If you own shares of it, it's pretty orderly. Trade them there. You just have to make sure, like here in Canada, there's like restrictions on our TFSAs. We're not supposed to hold things in the OTC. I don't know why they have to tell you that, but is what it is. So there's still going to be a stock. Just because you get removed from the Nasdaq, it doesn't mean you're not there anymore. You'll just find it in a different place. So if you log in tomorrow or next week and wonder where American Rebel is, it'll be AREB, sometimes with another letter after, and then on the OTC markets.
Yeah, for sure. It'll probably,
it's always 5 letters. I just don't.
It's not always, but it will.
Most of the time.
Yeah, like Fannie Mae is FNMA, but
right.
There are obviously. It always goes over with a letter. So we may have Jeff on today. I don't know. I don't see him come in, but Wednesday or Thursday. So when Jeff, if and when he stops by,
he's on the calendar.
We can. Oh, he's on the calendar for today. Okay, maybe he will.
But, sometimes he shows up. Sometimes he doesn't. It's like
Apple news on Apple right now. Tank City. Right here, Apple hitting to the downside right now. Threatened delay release on Siri into mid to late 2026.
So I'm seeing this headline. I'm not seeing yet who reported this, but again, it looks like there's some hitches here that are threatening to delay the release again till later this year. To be fair, we were not expecting it to be released till September of 2026, so this is unclear what this headline changes. But again, if and as I get more details, I'll keep you posted.
Okay, so there it goes. Yeah, just again hitting the scanners, right? I mean, this is why here it is right here, alert popping up right in the scanner that Apple just did a tanky through VWAP. So there it goes, man. And we get that alert, and then we bring it right to you immediately. There is no better space, period, exclamation mark, no question marks, on the best place to be if you're looking for breaking news. I mean, literally called up Apple as that was happening, and right there, flush, down $4, and all the way back to VWAP. I don't think that matters, man. A delay of Siri, whatever, man. You can push this thing out a year. It doesn't really matter. But Apple right now, obviously catching some downside drifts on that. Better to release the perfect product than not. So that's probably what they're waiting for. And again, I'm not sure. Adair's going to double, triple check everything. So we'll find out like who's posting this, what it means, and the legitimacy of it. But either way, sometimes when there's smoke, there is fire. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something's going on there with the release of Siri. So nice move down into 275. I mean, if anything, give me more buying opportunities for some Apple. But
someone was asking what scanners you have that could have picked that up, and I'm not sure. Obviously,
I told you, just a VWAP.
Oh no, like the VWAP scanner picked it up for you on the Apple.
Yeah.
What happened for me? I don't know what DHS is. What happened for me is the second Sean said it. Apple immediately snapped up to the top of my trade rate here over on eSignal. And look, and you can see the volume going. You know how you could tell that DHS was nothing? The volume was doing absolutely nothing in there. But you can quickly see it's actually calmed down now. Apple's now lower on the list. You're going to have Tesla and Netflix is up there. Nvidia, Apple's starting to move its way downside. But it's not to say that you have to have that, but a big shout out to eSignal. It's a very valuable scan. You can have ones like a VWAP, like Sean has. You can just look for trade rate. Because what will happen if the algos pick something up, it's going to go from not as many trades to a bunch. And it should spike. Whether it's just a relative volume spike, you could have ones for size on a level 2, whatever you want. But that's how you're going to get those types of alerts. That doesn't seem, considering we're already waiting for it, that doesn't seem doom and gloom. That could have just been an algo drop. I wouldn't read too much in. Apple's been a pretty strong stock. I don't know that I'd want to change my opinion, especially given the fact that it looks like we're going to close.
How about this story that I saw?
Right back up here at 278.
So I saw this story was at like a long time ago. Yes, Adara?
Oh, sorry, I have more details. So this looks like this is a Bloomberg report. Again, I was saying it took me a while to see attribution. Looks like this is coming from Bloomberg. Now, apparently some problems involve testing, which again could potentially push back the release of several highly anticipated functions within the Siri upgrade. Initially, they were going to include the new capabilities in the iOS 26.4, which was an operating system update slated for March. They're not going to spread them out over future versions. So it looks like we're not going to get the update right away in its entirety. We're going to get little pieces over time. But again, that's just this Bloomberg report.
I think I'm on. I think I'm on 26.3. Yeah, like there was just an update. I'm just going to try to double check that. I didn't even realize that I could have been almost involved. Yeah, I'm on 26.3. So that's cool. I didn't even realize that was going to happen.
You could have had it
that quickly. Yeah, that'd be nice if that comes through. That's a for sure. But yeah, good. Thanks, Adara, for that little update. And here we go. This story as well. This hits right around here when it got spicy around 1 o'clock. Because I was sort of sitting here and I did hear something about Bill Ackman just talking up his meta position, which, they're allowed to do. I'm not going to, hate on anything that any of these guys are doing. I mean, you saw me and Tom Lee. We had a great Super Bowl and everything. That was a lot of fun. But 658 right there, straight up on Meta, when you could see that, the market, although now the market is kind of trending a little bit higher. It wasn't, when at 1 o'clock here, that was kind of going oppo the market. This is 1 o'clock here. Actually, this is 1 o'clock. So, we fell back in on that. And so that was that. And then there was a huge recovery almost immediately. That is 1 o'clock period. So as the market kept falling, Meta just went to the upside there on that news report there from Mr. Bill Ackman, not just taking a stake, but I guess it was reveals his stake there. So good story. And definitely just goes to show, like, you never know what's going to happen. Like all of a sudden in your ear, that about Siri, this about Meta, a story about Amazon or anything could hit at any time. And the reason why I mentioned Amazon's I did talk about this on Twitter here, and it's gotten a pretty good amount of likes on it. It's only like 50 likes or whatever, but that's pretty good. Right here, as we were talking about it being a CapEx story right now, and I think that Amazon is trying to develop a space where they're the most dominant force, and that the AWS. And Andy Jassy explained in his conference call, try to justify that spend. And honestly, I mean, Amazon's working on a bunch of different ideas, and if it's going to work, they're going to need to put money to work to build out these data centers and support, all the clients that they have and hoping to have and continuously having their deals with Oracle on the space side of things. Obviously, their investment in Anthropic, lots of different sort of levers that Amazon can pull. Well, they got beat up pretty good on that report, right? So anything down in, I feel like, and I said I don't want to buy any more tech names because I am very, very, overloaded on that. But when you get value, there's value. And Amazon right here from the high, 260 down to 200. So you're down 20%. You're almost in bearish territory right now on Amazon. So, or maybe you even are. From 240, 24, anyways, from the very top, you're close. But that's going to be something interesting here at around 200. So I think I will dip in a little bit, see what tomorrow brings, see what maybe this week brings, and then see if Amazon finds a base down here in and around $2. Because I do like the story, and I think that there's reasons to buy. And, Vertiv and GE, Vernova, all these names just keep on pumping to the high side because they have the demand, and they have the orders. So if they have the orders and their order book is huge, we've already seen Oracle get smacked down for their, financing of their debt deals and whatnot. I like some of these names that have been depressed so much, and it's nice to see obviously a name like Meta come all the way back and give you an opportunity to buy the quarter again. Like there's the quarter, there's the move higher. Now it's giving you another opportunity to buy it if you like it. So there are a few mega cap names. Like that's why I say go into mags if you're uncertain of what to buy. This is a 16% in each of the mag 7. So this is, wait a minute, does that make sense? 16?
Yeah, 16
16.
points.
Okay, I was gonna make sure I got the math right there. So this is divided equally, so you don't really have to pick and choose?
Probably if it's divided equally
right?
between all 7. So it is equal, so there's
equal weighted, yeah, I looked it up.
Well,
I was debating investing.
It's more like 14, but
yeah, that's why I wasn't sure about the math.
Distinction without a difference. At the end of the day,
math. 100 divided by 7.
Exactly 14.2 It's a 14.2857142. Anything, if it's like a divisible by 7 thing, there's like a repeating decimal. You just sound really smart. All you have to know is which one starts first, and then the pattern's always the same thing. But don't ask me what pi is. I can't do that. What we can do is give a salute to Microsoft. Or I got Mag 7 on the brain, so I just said Microsoft instead of Micron. Another 10% up. We looked at SNDK. Now look at Micron here. Straight trend to the upside. And this goes down to is where the money wants to be right now. And if you think the shortage is still going to be in, which is exactly what's been coming out for the next couple of years in the memory chips, the reality is, yeah, well, cost might be going up for names like Intel and AMD. Kind of complained about that you heard that in their calls. The beneficiaries are just still raking it in, and Micron with an absolute barn burner to the upside here. I still feel like you're a bit safer. I don't know, like I feel safer in some of the AI plays in G, Vernova, and Caterpillar, just because I know, like I feel pretty good about where that spend's gonna be in the next couple of years, even though they're getting somewhat frothy. But yeah, it seems like in all systems go. You had like a week to buy this on the dip, and it's still looking pretty good. Just a little bit of...
Isn't this the guy from Friday Night Lights? Or...
No. Yeah,
Marissa. This is Marissa's...
No, it's...
Marissa's Dawson's Creek.
No, you're thinking Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues. I never watched. That was Andre.
No, Varsity Blues. I love that movie. That was a fun movie.
I have no idea about Dawson's Creek, by the way. That was just. Yeah, I don't know. Was that
Varsity Blues, man?
Wasn't Dawson's Creek Tom Cruise's?
Yes, Katie Holmes, also Michelle Williams, future Academy Award nominee. It's kind of a stacked cast. Shout out to Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, shout out to Dawson's Creek. But anyways, this is Marissa's update of the day. Not a happy one today. No cause of death, but she says colorectal cancer. He was suffering from. Yeah, so colorectal cancer, we'll say shout out to, the family, and we feel for that. And cancer's hit every single person. We talk about that all the time. So anyway, just a little bit of an update, not only stock updates, but there it is for you. And sad to report that, but, that unfortunately is what it is on that aspect. So sad news there coming through in the world of pop culture.
Yeah, McLeod's F cancer.
That is for damn sure. All right, so just quickly here on Tesla. If it breaks 426, breaking through VWAP, let's get out a little bit more of our trade right now, and we'll work on it from there. But nice.
Elon's just been posting some stuff on it.
Elon has been? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not... We're already, this is $5 in the money. It's been a good trade, man, and we've been getting out. So we have less than 10%. We have actually exactly 10% left right now on this trade, maybe even less, because we had multiple reloads. Probably 10% left of this reload. So yeah, Tesla's a good stock today. Just wish we hadn't bought it early, but it's okay. You battle back and you learn from all your mistakes as we go forward. So that would be a trade there. We haven't talked, really about China in a long time. Alibaba's fallen back in a little bit there. And, the FXI really not doing a whole heck of a lot. This is the China 100 ETF. So it gave you an opportunity to buy again this dip. And it's like, we talked to certain people and they're like, we don't like Chinese names and hard to trust the government. And I agree, man. But this 200 period moving average, and I'm sure as I zoom way back out, it's going to hit here and it's going to hit here again. On ETFs, when you get 200 period moving averages, generally speaking, you're doing pretty good. So if you like to support these names in China, you just had a good opportunity to do that. For me, I like Tencent, so that's TCEHY over here on your OTC markets. I like this name, and I was going to buy, remember I was like, I want to buy Tencent and Alibaba. I did buy some Alibaba at 160, got out when it came back up to 160 because I was like, maybe I don't like it after all. But we still like it, and we were back into that name. Tencent broke through. So now you're going to have to, look at this support of your whoops, what am I doing with this ellipse still? With the support on your 200 period moving average, and now we're broken back down below. So a buy at 74, fine, but not now. You're catching some of those knives that we say that can be very, very sharp. And Alibaba was just at 160 again yesterday, so 165. What was it, 160 this morning? So nice move there for Alibaba. And again, like if you don't pay attention to the charts like I don't, right there, 180 came in and gone again. So I could have, we held it back down here. We got out of a quarter when it came back up, and then we didn't get anything out of the top side. But I'll hold some Alibaba for some Chinese exposure. I mean, it's literally the only, Apple is kind of a Chinese.
It is. There's
some exposure.
Apple, of course, is exposure to China. When you own Nvidia, you've got exposure to China.
Yep.
It's not this, but it's not the same value play. That's, I think, the difference between, like, if you own Alibaba, the discount that you're getting because of the China risk, like everyone says, is actually pretty hefty. But I haven't bought Baba in a while, and I just saw in the chat, Commodity King saying K-Web, you can get 10% Baba, you can get 10% Tencent as well. I don't know how much of some of the other names are going to be in there. I know those are the top two. I'm starting to think instead of buying Baba the next time, because I already own Alibaba, that might be the place to go, just to diversify a little bit. The growth potential, obviously not what it used to be, but sometimes you feel like this risk is overdone. And it's been relatively quiet. You think it's been relatively quiet geopolitically, even though it seems like there's a headline all the time, but I think that could be a good sign. Ultimately, just a little bit of a power hour. Yeah,
power hours here.
It is power hour. Just a quick update. Basically, I'm in a couple of mean reversion trades. One of them looking for VWAP, but I have moved my stop. So usually I'll have it at the low or the prior bar, but I've moved it up to support level break even here. So if Rivian can't get all the way into the VWAP retrace, then I'll make sure that the last third we don't lose, and we'll try to stay break even on it. David. Another super chat from Dave. This is a good one.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
We were just talking. Let's throw this one up if we can, or maybe I can find it. Oh, okay. Just very, very quickly, David. All the money in the world doesn't matter without health. You and everyone who have been there. But if
I just look at
SanDisk and MU, they will be fine with the what?
I don't know.
Then it goes to the stocks. Hopefully they don't dump. No, but you're 100% right. Health is absolutely everything. I'll say this, like, everyone's been touched by cancer. One of the best things you can do, it's a silly and dumb thing to say, just get over 40. Just make sure you do your annual checkups and all of that. Like, it's a little bit of diligence. Like, I look at it this way. Like, I'm so motivated to be there, to see, like, the milestones in your kids' lives and whatnot. And it's an absolute blessing to just stick around and see all the possibilities.
Look at
and shout out to everyone in the chat saying we have a couple cancer survivors that have popped out there.
Look at Tim Cook, right? The guy had literally billions of dollars or hundreds of millions, I guess, and built this huge empire, and unfortunately, like, unable to. Well, had a good life while he was here, but would obviously give it all up for health. Shout out to Warren Buffett. The guy's still kicking around in the 90s there. Some people have it, and I consider it lucky, right? If you can avoid these things, that's lucky. But yeah, get checked and eat healthy and just live the best life now, because
they drink water, but then
you never know.
I don't have my water.
Water's overrated. Okay, in the world of gold and silver, volatility isn't necessarily a hurdle. It's an opportunity, but harnessing it requires the right tools. Beta Pro by Global X delivers that edge as Canada's first and longest running suite of levered, inverse, and inverse leveraged ETFs. Beta Pro provides a decisive way to engage with metal markets through 2 times daily bull and 2 times daily bear exposure. These funds are built for the precision and momentum that modern markets demand. Designed for sophisticated Canadian day traders who understand the risks of leverage and the power of tactical response, Beta Pro provides the agility to navigate market moves in either direction. Just don't follow the gold and silver markets. Position yourself for what's next. Discover the suite at betapro.ca. We want to thank them, of course, for their continued sponsorship of the program, and go check it out. These levered ETFs have big time benefits if you are able to catch the right move at the right time. And there's single stock, inverse PLTU. What's the meta one? METU, I believe. A whole bunch of names, right, that you guys all know. FBL, Facebook longs, that are all levered 2 times and whatnot. But go check them out. Beta Pro. Scan that right there if you are a Canadian investor and are interested in.
Here it is right here.
Yeah, the silver there. Is that a Beta Pro one?
Yeah, this is the Beta Pro.
There's gold.
It's in Canada, so this would be the gold. There's an inverse as well, which, what would that be? It'd be The best part is I don't have to actually know it.
Yeah, we have to go get that
I can
list.
just start typing it. It looks like it'll be GLDDD. There you go.
Dump.
See, we have like there's like a drop-down menu. So like I just start typing GLD and then it starts giving me options. So you don't actually have to know the actual ticker. But there you go. The opportunity to take advantage is certainly there in the metals. Commodity King is saying that Bloom Energy is looking to break up. I'm going to assume you mean break out to the upside and not break the company up.
Right.
Yeah. Obviously, I know. There's no key. It's not at a particularly key level, but it has been trending off of the lows. Bloom had a good Q. I believe this is a Sharif, the one that loves this baby. Just trying to find a key level. Here, 15-minute chart probably
Depends
gives
if your
us
house
the
is
best
on
look.
fire or not. You might like Bloom.
Yeah. Wonder where that kid is. Sometimes you see these videos, like these viral videos from like 10, 15, 20 years ago. That might actually be 15 years ago. And
Oh yeah, sorry, I meant Steve Jobs,
Good to
not
see.
Tim Cook on that Apple
did
reference.
you say Tim Cook?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did.
Like,
Idiot. Yeah.
you know when
Steve
you
Jobs.
know what somebody's saying?
Thanks to Jay
you don't
Bronson
even-
in the chat.
I didn't even register that you might have said that wrong because everyone knows what you're talking about. No, Bloom 157. I think that's what we need to get through. You've held the low, triple bottom. You've held a couple of dumps for the last couple of days in a row. You V-shaped it. I think if this can just break out this little, 4-day high, let's just say, post earnings, that can be a good jump off zone. It's kind of diddling in the middle today.
I don't mind. I mean, I think you see some big moves today with GE Vernova and Vertiv. I mean, Vertiv came out with such a huge quarter. I mean, you can reference Sharif's morning note. We have our release note as well here on the watch list. And I'm just going to sort of here, I'll show you this watch list. Go get it in the chat right now. You can go down, find out in our description. Grab the link right here to our watch list. And this has absolutely everything. Shout out to Adara, like what's been trading, what's happening here, the expected, all the non-payroll numbers that hit earlier. There's the Robinhood discuss. These are just brief. These are almost like highlights of the reports, right? The stuff that Sharif puts out there is AI aided, obviously, but gives you breakdowns of, maybe potential plays, key levels, and breaks down the story more. But right into here, thanks to Adair for putting it up. I thought Vertiv was on here. Oh my God, it's packed today. Yeah, there's Vertiv right there. So Vertiv, 136 of 128, so that's an EPS beat. So that's great. Narrowly missed, though, on sales. But this is where it is right here. It's the guide, right? So projected between 597 to 607 and another big sales number, both beating the outlook for the same period, right? Exceeding expectations. So right there today, we see right off the jump, we see VRT just go boom right there and hit that 250 marker. And then the rest of the day is what the day was. And the market really did fall back in and just goes to show you, like with a stock like Tesla, it goes boom, finds a base, and then starts to rip again. And it looks like we are trying to end the day near some of these highs once again on VRT. So I don't know why I went immediately over to Vertiv. There was, what was this? What were we just talking about? A power name, wasn't it?
Well, we were just talking about data center.
Oh, data center, maybe. That's what it was.
Yeah,
and it was the build out. And so GE Vernova catching it as well. I mean, I'm not even really sure the difference between the two names, but GE Vernova, nice move to the upside there, and taking out all-time highs as well today on nothing that they did, just in the sector. So that's a really great spot for investors to be in these days, is the build-out, right? And you saw Caterpillar. I just think like XLI, wow, 770 right now. That's monstrous right there for CAT. XLI is the ETF that just keeps on bumping. So this name just goes boom in the night as well. Like, look at, like, this is not even a hard trade. It's like when you look at Micron this year, like we all knew in December that it was going parabolic, and then it was up another 100% in the month of January. And look at XLI, man, this is not a story that we don't know about. There's the break right there at 158. You get an ETF to 175. So yeah, get your industrial names like a Lam, like an AMAT, like anything that has anything to do with the picks and shovels. I like it right now, and that's why I like water plays. I feel like I need to make a play on water, guys. Let me know what stock I should be doing for something like that. Brendan hit IREN, but didn't IREN get smoked?
IREN got caught up in the crypto move. There's a halt here on this NCI. I just wanted to show a 5-second chart because it was halted, it reopened, was heading down, and then look at this, maybe even a 3-second. I gotta use a 3-second chart for you guys. Might give you a better look. Yeah, so it was absolutely chilling out. underneath the reopen price, and then it just vaulted in a matter of 3 or 4 seconds right to the highs. It's now halted again up at 269 or 268. It'll be a 5 or 10 minute halt, just a volatility halt. Halted at 220, opened up and continued higher. 240%. Not aware of the story with this one. Of course, I'm sure Sharif would have been all over this in the middle of the day. I mean, the only story I see was yesterday they priced a public offering. So yesterday they priced an offering, and today they go ham. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else, and that was actually yesterday morning too.
Yeah, sometimes the offering gets well received. And you get a bit of a squeeze, or you could just soak the float up in cases like this, because what will happen is if a stock reverse splits in a situation like this, you start having less shares, and then liquidity is a little bit lower, and obviously it's easier for somebody to soak up the float. So soaking up the float just means somebody buys up a large amount of the available shares, reducing the amount that can get traded and, of course, be shorted. And it can kind of cause a little bit of a squeeze, and then they get the squeeze, and then they unload, blah, blah, blah. It's just one of those mechanical things. I'm not saying somebody did that, but on these plays, a lot of times that's what the case is, especially if it doesn't have a catalyst. So just be careful as it gets back into these highs. A lot of time people will play for you'll have like hedge funds and big firms that like to short reverse splits because it works a lot. So when it breaks out above the pre-split, like the reverse split highs, you start to get a squeeze. But it has to actually break past that. So that'll be about this $3 level that it looks like it double tested. That's a spot where the big short seller whales are going to look to jump back in again because they love those prices. And so they're not really blown out until it starts breaking out above that. And then remember, they have like endless pockets to be able to hold things obscenely against them that the rest of us just can't do. We have to be responsible if we short a stock. But if you're some hedge fund, you can just say, well, I think that garbage stock is going to zero, and I'm just going to short every single pop. And if it goes from 3 to 5, who cares? I'll just take more. If it goes 5, 10, who cares? I'll just take more. Us regular traders can't do that, but some big fund can. And so understand that when it gets to that 3, you can see them pull that off. So I told you I was going to go to break even on Rivian. If the move only gets halfway to VWAP, then so be it. Like, I'm always going to sort of respect that. Like, I want that trade to get to the volume weighted average price. Like, it did it on, like on EA. Like, this one was able to get me to VWAP. It made a bit of a double bottom and pushed back into the volume weighted average price. I'll always take those, right? Like, it's the kind of thing the last couple of sessions, no matter how the morning is gone in the last week, there's at least been 1 or 2 mean reverts that I can put on, take it to VWAP, and make the entire day back. And so as long as that keeps happening, I'm going to keep doing it as a strategy. And then even in the afternoons, just look for more patient plays. One of which I thought was going to be BMNR. But this doesn't want to, it's not losing VWAP. Definitely have, like where we shorted it this morning, like this range in here under the $20 level doesn't look like it's going to get to 20. So I'm kind of giving up on the thought that we can short in front of 20 again. And I'm starting to think about maybe just shorting off this 19.7 that it keeps presenting us. We still have 50 minutes to go for sure. Commodity King says no one is looking at the chemicals needed for all this AI. LXFR. I like where your head is at. So I don't know much about this symbol, and I'm not going to preach to know even where you would express that trade, but I don't mind it's a good thought.
Well, you don't know about LXRX?
No, I don't know them, but the first thing that I would be actually suspicious if this was at the lows. The fact that it profiles on the chart the same way that a G Vernova does, maybe this is another place to look. I'd have to do some research on it before I would consider adding it. That said, I feel like if you've got 1 or 2 plays along this whole stack, I think you're good to go, instead of just being long like Nvidia and like a Google and that kind of a thing. If you've got, to me, I own G Vernova and I own Caterpillar. So I feel like I'm pretty good in that space, and I don't really feel like I need to extend. But I like where your head is at. This hasn't made a 50. Okay, well, it's made 52-week highs, but it hasn't broken any all-time highs yet. But I would have to do some research. But I do like where your head is at. Where else can you express the trade for these AI names? That's what we should be thinking about here. It's not always about Nvidia. Because Nvidia, as impressive as they are, they have not been leading this charge when you look at the charts. It's been the memory names, it's been your Caterpillars and G Vernovas, maybe LXFR, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Nvidia's, we've talked about this, is at the same levels it's been in since last July. So it's just been sitting there going back and forth with no dividend either. So that's been a little bit of a disappointment, I think, for many of us. All right, so we broke through VWAP there, and VWAP was at 2650. I took another 20% of what we had left out on that break, and I just waited for 426. We could have saved 50 cents and taken it out a little bit better, but now we'll wait for the highs again, as we are basically rejecting that VWAP break right now. And I know, look, like volume weighted average price, like any of these lines on here, whereby the green is the 200, the pink is the 50, this gray guy over here is the 25. They're just guides, you know, and so you got to sort of see the action around these key levels, and you know that's a break, and so I get it. You know, there's some, you know, obviously there's the volume spike there on the break, so I understand that people are, not a whole bunch, but some people are looking at VWAP there on that break, and they get stopped out like I do, just a little bit. That's why I'm not stopping out the whole whack right here. We're just going to sit down and see if we now get some absorption back up here. Well, this is where we'll use now the 50-period moving average. We'll see if we can take advantage of that up to 427. Maybe we can get a fill into that area. But yeah, for me on Tesla, we're getting lighter and lighter. And then on Nvidia, I mean, shout out to, in the chat there, you had the money comment of the afternoon. And unfortunately, we go through a lot of comments, and I wasn't sure, I can't remember who mentioned it, but you had said that Nvidia is having a problem at 192, and I'm like, yeah, heard, man. I mean, once it failed right there, we are already on that 192 level. I was going to wait to see if we could break below this 191. If we do that, then we'll stop out and then give back about $1 on our last like 2% of this trade. In the afternoon, if you ever see me rolling with shares, the idea is that I have a little bit more, and we did do a hold on our Tesla, but we didn't do very good on Nvidia because we had cleaned out right here when it came back to 192 the first time. So waiting for it to break, we could have just punched out upside, and we should have. We should have punched this out at 192 and didn't. So now we suffer this fate back in. Let's take it out right here. 191. I'm just going to put these offers in that I'm talking about so I don't forget it. This is 190. I'm not even going to wait for 192. 191.70. So we're getting pretty close to that right now. I mean, we could get this immediately. So we'll offer that out if that can hit. It's 316 already. I went over there and said, what's up to Ramin? And she said, hey, there's only a half hour left. Ramin, you owe me 15 minutes, man. It's 3:15 right now. So I was like...
That's an interesting half an hour.
I was like really excited. I'm like, geez, because I was looking over
Ramin's all about rounding, apparently.
Yeah, so I'm fine with rounding.
That's an aggressive round.
She actually, it's no word of a lie. I was like, yes, a half hour. I'm going back, baby. And then I came back here, sat down. I was like, all right. 3:15, okay. But anyways, we're gonna get an offer out there on Nvidia, and you probably can't see back. I mean, I wish you know what? There it is. Sort of. What I'm trying to talk about is right there. Oh, look at that point, almost directly where it needs to be, right back there. They've put on 7 TVs, all of which are about, I was gonna say they're about like, they're not quite 50-inch TVs, I don't think, but they're all back there. They're gonna have a whole bunch of information server side and whatnot on there. So there's a bunch of, our space station is looking more spacey.
That's how all this stuff looks so amazing.
Right now,
how they're able to do all of this amazing magic, especially on the aftermarket show. Like, you see how we're flashing. I'm
gonna take a picture of it.
What happened to the new background?
Tweet it out.
We had that cool money background for the aftermarket show yesterday. We'll get that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Fabian's gonna have it in a second.
I'm still gonna tweet it out anyways.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, a lot of work gets done behind the scenes that you guys don't get a chance to see. All you get to see is the show look better and hopefully sound better and give you new looks and make it a little bit more entertaining. But there's a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes. Fabi, Andre, Ramin. Obviously, you see Randy every now and then, but I've seen Rob running around, standing on tables as well. Mark seems to never be sitting down. I don't think, you know what's interesting? I don't think I can't remember the last time I saw Mark sit in this office. And you
I
guys
thought you were going to say,
oh,
okay.
So there it is on screen. It is the Starship Enterprise. I think that would be fair to say. Like, if you think it's complicated when you've got like 50 hotkeys and trying to trade, no, try looking at that. They've got about 3 million buttons and more screens than you could possibly imagine. I wouldn't know what to do with, and we thank them every single day for the job for that. Just want to shout out to someone in the chat said, why is SMCI weak? And then there was a conversation about them being not a trusted company. I'm not going to get into that, but let's just say they've lost the benefit of the doubt a while ago for SMCI. What you don't want to see, and I'm actually looking at this one, it got into this zone. I didn't realize we were down here. this was a breakaway spot, but kind of feel like this is a fade zone. The market is bouncing nicely in an uptrend. Could break this trend here, but it's not rocket science to say that SMCI is relatively weak because we're chilling at the low. So I feel like a short, I don't want to be shorting the low of the day at 319. That seems like a bad decision. But if I can't get BMNR, then the shot off this 32 level is going to make some sense. I'm not saying it fills this entire gap in. There's not enough time necessarily to do that, but we are going to see it at the desk.
Hi guys, let's quickly discuss some numbers today. The MBA 30-year mortgage rate came out at 7 a.m. this morning. The actual number standing at 6.21%. Previous was also the same. Not a big change here at all. Non-farm payrolls also 130K now versus the 48K previous. The forecast, however, was at 40,000. Unemployment rate also came out at 8:30 a.m. as of this morning. Actual number standing at 4.3% versus the 4.4%, which was the previous number. The forecast was, however, 4.5. EIA crude oil stocks change also came in today at 10:30 a.m. this morning. Current standing at 8.53 million and previous at negative 3.455 million. EIA gasoline stocks at current at 1.16 million and previous at 0.865 million. Monthly budget statement also currently at 0.912 million and previous at 1.101 million. Let's take a look at a couple of headlines for today. Estee Lauder has sued Walmart over counterfeits. Estee Lauder has filed a suit in California's federal court alleging that Walmart allowed certain counterfeit beauty products to be sold in the store and on Walmart.com. The company also claims that it purchased and tested products such as the Le Labo, La Mer, Clinique, Aveda, Tom Ford, and Estee Lauder, determining that they were fake. Although it was sold by certain third-party sellers, Estee Lauder is arguing that Walmart has played an active role in facilitating this sale. And currently, Walmart is up 1.64%. It's unaffected. Let's also move on to the other headline. The FDA has rejected Moderna's flu shot. On my screen here, you can see the stock. The FDA has declined to begin reviewing Moderna's application for its standalone flu vaccine, which is the mRNA 1010. Shares fell roughly about 7% in after-hours trading, which followed the announcement. And FDA vaccine regulator Vinay Prasad, who heads the CBER, signed the Feb 3 letter rejecting the review and has publicly advocated to set higher vaccine standards. Moderna has also said that the refusal does not and will not impact its 2026 financial guidance.
Thank you, Sia. And I feel like they did get the benefit of the doubt today, Moderna, because while still down 4%, it's only been a buy. Who knew? The hold of VWAP, shout out to Brian Shannon, that's obviously a good indicator. And when it holds above, it did not even look back. I guess ripping some faces off. It's a weird one because to me, like if you're in the crosshairs of the administration, it's not exactly the stock I would have expected would make a big break back upside. And it would be nice if this is a weird obsession with all about flu vaccines. Mm-hmm. The mRNA technology can be used for other things. I feel like if they were to make some breakthroughs in some of those other things and not just these vaccines, there may be more upside. But anyways, I'm not a scientist, so like it's figure out the lowest hanging fruit. Like they got to do their job, and not the ideal news, but the fact that it got bought up, I think, is a good thing. So I did get this lower high into SMCI. If it prints a low day, I'm sitting at the low of the day for the first take and then a $0.50. If I'm short at the quarters and giving to this prior bar, which is at 85, it's about 10 cents worth of risk. So I want to make sure when it gets to 1-to-1, we get some out. And let's go back to the desk, this time for Adara.
We're going to talk here about two stories that came out during that read. Let's talk about PayPal first. PYPL, basically we had Sawyer Merritt, who is known for being a Tesla and Elon Musk bull. He just posted on X that X money will be launching in 1 to 2 months. Looks like Elon Musk confirmed this, but either way, sometimes the things that Sawyer Merritt posts at news are not breaking news, but either way here, the circulation of this X money product is pushing PayPal a little bit lower. Next, we have Ford. I'm just seeing here Ford filing for a mixed shelf offering of undisclosed size. Again, unclear how new that is, but it's just circulating now, so I want to bring it up. So again, Ford with that shelf offering and PYPL with X money being launched back to Sean and Neil.
Glenn just keeps getting closer and closer. He telegraphed this years and years ago. He always wanted it in everything app.
Yep.
And you know, it started out with he bought Twitter, obviously now X. There hasn't been that much chatter of when that would go back public again.
He could just buy PayPal.
No, he can do whatever he wants to do. Wait, what do he need to buy PayPal?
He got the user base. He just converts it all over to X money.
He seems like the kind of guy who always wants to do it
Cash
himself,
money.
as opposed to try to pick somebody up. It's like, oh, I can do it better myself, instead of necessarily integrating. But yeah, maybe more pressure here on PayPal. Although, hey, don't look now. As bad as PayPal might be, it's still holding that low at 40. It's the higher low. It's not the post earnings low. It's the higher low at $40, holding on by just about a thread here for PayPal. I don't know why I didn't like this short. We liked this short in the afternoon yesterday, but that's because it was a trend break. Like, it just, whatever. It was a trend break on PayPal. That's probably why I didn't look at it today, because the trend break would have meant a long, and I'm not really thinking long on this stock currently. But it's holding some lows at 40 at least. But I just can't bring myself to like them. I looked at it. There's like one thing I still use PayPal for monthly. I found it. I was looking at this weekend and keep saying how I don't use PayPal anymore. And then what happened? I realized what it was. I'm like, do I still need this? And canceled. So I can really say that I don't use PayPal anymore.
Yeah, I got some cash lying around in PayPal, so I use it to buy Robux and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, PayPal still has some uses, but yeah, getting to be a little obsolete with all the options out there, that's for sure. It seems like anyways these days. All right, so that's a little bit of a talk there. Just quickly here, Tesla, I got at another piece there on another sort of 426 VWAP break right there. We got 426.25, there it is, what's up? Aziz, I got me a drop top, nice. And if I hit the switch, I can make MU and SNDK drop. So yeah, you know what? Good little chat there.
It might be harder than you think.
Yeah, well, if you have the ability to make this thing drop, it's not doing it right now. Up another 10% today. Like Micron, the story continues, man. It's like Wu-Tang. The saga continues here because this is going from 370 to 413. Next stop 450. Honestly, like what's going to stop these things here? And again, on the base case, we should have been in this again, like SNDK and Micron, just that same story. Like the minute we hear something about a build out, about needs, about data centers, about chips or anything, about a glut, that's what's not happening. There is not a glut of inventory on the RAM side. So SNDK, Western Digital, Micron all continue to just march higher as, you know, like you got to put components into these chips. So I don't, you know, like it's getting more expensive now to buy any kind of a RAM card or anything like that, let alone somebody that's going to put in, you know, a $700 billion or $1 million order for Nvidia chips. You know, like there's components that need to be had, which is exactly why I actually don't understand why Marvell is not blasting to the moon here. Marvell is sort of part of this story on data centers, on the build outs. And I honestly think this is like a sleeping giant here, but obviously I need to do some more work. So we'll have to wait, just like a Broadcom. Sharif and I both, Broadcom and Marvell do compete for many of the same clients and in the same space. And this name, Broadcom, has other things going for it as well. But Marvell, I like it as a sort of the copper, the play there. They have the optic wires as well there going through. Copper can only go so far. They had struggling with the name that they had just bought. They just, not Confluent, that was IBM, but they had, Marvell bought somebody there for the optical sensors going through. So I do like Marvell there for data transfer and whatnot going through. Broadcom's also another great name. But that was that. So IBM was another name that has been getting hit, right? Like I haven't looked at it daily over here in a little bit, but.
It got hit again today.
What the hell happened to IBM today? Thank you, Adara. Now she knows I'm going to call on her. It's like, I'm just like, what in the?
I don't have anything, though. So I unfortunately don't have anything. I'm not even seeing any
Sad
stories on
face.
Benzinga from this for over 24 hours.
There was a story yesterday on them, but that's obviously not going to be a
Like, I was just bringing this up for shits and giggles.
The story yesterday wasn't even bad, though. It was just
No, it
they
was
unveiled
good.
the next generation of IBM flash system. Honestly, if anything, it kind of sounds like just a PR headline. It came out right at 7 a.m., which implies to me it was pre-scheduled.
That makes some sense. But if you go out to...
Does it? I don't know.
What the heck? Whoops, there was a nice typo. Instead of weekly, I just went to, I typed Q, which is not a time frame on a chart. But you pull up the weekly on IBM, and this is a put up or shut up week. IBM has not, okay, fine. Back here in August of last year, it spent a couple of weeks underneath the 50-period moving average on the weekly chart. So a couple of weeks underneath there, not much. That's the formation it's putting in right now. This is in my portfolio. I've held IBM for quite some time. But I have not neglected to buy in front of the 50-period moving average very often on this stock. It was one of my picks last year. So I've already bought once in front. I don't think I would buy again. But it does make you think. If it were to lose contain underneath the 50-period on the weekly, that could be a place to just trim some and wait for a better price, especially if you've been holding this for a long time. Like if I look at this on a, let's say, 3-month chart, because IBM goes back forever, so you can actually do this. A lot of the companies we talk about, I pull up a 3-month chart and it's pretty useless. But on IBM, it actually has some use. When you pull up a 3-month chart, if you lose that level I was just talking about, then it's like wait for $200, where you know you want to load the bad boy. Just load it up in front of the $200 level. So I'm eyeballing this pretty closely because I've been a buyer in front of this on the weekly. But sometimes you have to recognize a pattern like this, which is held for so long. Like this is going back to 2023, will be the last time it really held underneath on the weekly, and even then it immediately rebounded. So it could be a good place. Maybe look for some really, down in the low 200s would be almost a dream. I don't think you get down there, unfortunately. But yeah, taking it on the chin. And I don't think you have to have an explanation as to why a stock is relatively weak. Just note, hey, the market bounced today. This stock didn't bounce. I'm putting it in the short list for the short term. Like SMCI, I don't really know why SMCI is down today. Everything was down early. It tried to bounce. Other things continued trending up. It continued trending down. But it did break into a zone that I like, which is right in here. It's from this breakout, 31.85, and then this support. And the last time it broke down was pretty nasty. I don't expect that. I've already taken some when it just tagged the low of the day. But I just wanted to press, hopefully, into somewhere into this range. Like what it did on the 6th, 31.25 would be good. So I want that half. And then we'll try to get the quarter. But it is 3:30, so usually about this time, we'll give you the early look on the imbalances. I don't think we have any big expectations today, so let me just sort that by time for the IPO. Okay, so RIG is $7 million to sell. HPE is $2 million to sell. That would have been a SPAC that came out today. There were 4 SPACs that IPO'd today. I'm telling you. The SPACs are back. It's like the market's at highs and they just start rolling. You didn't see any SPACs. I would go to this website that I check every single day and there were no SPACs. Like nobody's coming out last year and they're all out of the woodworks this year. There's like 5 or 6 of them a week. It's absolutely intense. Once the market gets to the highs, all of a sudden everyone wants to roll a SPAC out. That's ridiculous. But nothing crazy on the early look except for RIG. $7 million to sell. Maybe there's something with Transocean happening that I didn't see earlier.
Ramin just messaged me, and it's funny because we're both thinking the exact same thing. I was just going to call her out and say, Ramin, how much time do I have left here today? But there it is.
Minutes.
It is now the 15-minute mark. Ramin will be taking over the last 15 minutes of the show. But no, 30 minutes left, so power hour is upon us right now. And just trying to wrap up some of these trades, right? IBM right now, this is kind of why I brought this up. I didn't know the move, but the dividend yield's only 2.5%. It's not a huge dividend, but always better to collect a dividend than not if you can get that. But yeah, just as we were saying about Nvidia, you're coming back in now. Forget about summertime love. Like that was back here in July. Like, you're well under that now, and you're back into this 270 area. So I always thought that like anything that hits near its tariff lows could be picked up, right? I almost think IBM, because I like IBM also for the quantum aspect, and that's the rub. I've been
the upside play. Yeah.
Look, man, I mean, I should actually just call it. Maybe I will. Maybe tonight I'll look it up. I'll tell you what like the cost basis on IBM is. IBM, I think, might have been like the first tech stock I ever bought. So, and you're talking about like 25 years ago or so. When I was 5 years old. So that was something there to be very, very.
I know the second.
Yeah. I'm not that.
The second one for me was Oracle. The first one was.
Yeah.
I chuckle saying it, but my dad worked for Nortel. I didn't own it very long.
Yeah.
Because there was the whole logic. We had a conversation, but he's like, you do realize.
I wonder what my
that, like,
is on IBM.
it's like, he obviously had options. He worked there. It's like, why do you need to own that stock? It's like you're implicitly invested in it, son. And then. Let's just say that there were signs that Nortel wasn't. If you worked at Nortel, there were definitely signs that things weren't going to go well. And if you heard some of the concerns, you probably didn't want to be in the stock. So shout out to my dad for being pragmatic about that. Because obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, and we probably have a bunch of viewers that are like, "What the heck is Nortel?" So imagine it wasn't like an Enron type blow up, but this was the largest tech company in Canada and just seen as a huge leader in telecommunications global. Worldwide, and they got complacent. A good parallel would be, imagine if Intel didn't turn themselves around. It was like you were the biggest and you just let everyone catch up and there was no bounce, there was no pivot, it just all fell apart. That would be the best example if you've never heard of it. Is what it is.
Yeah, I was just looking here at I didn't realize IBM split so much. I just looked, it's 330. I don't know. I'm up 330% on this name. Yeah, there it is, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. I wasn't involved, I don't think, in 96, 97 into here when this split, but maybe. I'd have to look back at all the spots. But like IBM just, blowing to the upside. I don't know what this split is all about. This says 25,000. I don't know what happened there in 2001. There's some sort of a crazy split action there. But yeah, just nothing but upside here for IBM. And this is a monthly chart, so looking to probably dip by something now. I might even. This is the thing, like all these stocks I look at, I like them, so it's tough to decide, and I don't really want to get into too many tech names anymore, but I like IBM on that dip buy right into there. Okay, just getting some orders set up here because we are getting ready to cash out at 335 right now, so this might not do anything. We can offer some out there on Tesla. We'll put an 05 and take some fill there. As we're trying to break down a little bit, I just, if we do break 525, we can put our the final boss stop at 425, okay? So let's just do exactly this 200 period, why not? 25, so okay, 425, 24, might come in soon. 425, 24, we'll just stop out there if it breaks, and you gotta have orders out to stop out, but Tesla's gonna be a great trade, and it was just the longs off that 422 as we posted. So we're gonna try to stick with our notes a little bit clearer in the next couple days, and we still do have the look on Nvidia, but looking for more there. Meta was an interesting call, man, because I heard, and I was reading about it, I was sitting here, I saw it hit the newswire, that Bill Ackman was involved in Meta and straight up there. So could have easily had $7 or $8 on this name, didn't take it.
How much
so
does he own?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
But nice move to the upside. I actually realized that I own a lot more Meta than I thought. So there it goes, Meta upside. We like that trade. And I keep saying, like, you got this whole quarter back. So if you like it right there, worth a buy on Meta at these levels. Just talking about the CapEx spend there for META, and they actually are, show profits on their spend. So that was an interesting look.
I've been
there.
not buying any Mag twice. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought Meta once on the dip. I'm not really thinking buying them again because I have like a rotation of what you want to buy next, and I still have money that I want to go to like GE Vernova and find whether it's going to end up being Morgan Stanley or whether it'll end up. I don't know about the XLF again. I haven't rebought SoFi, but I'm looking at a financial that I want to pick up. And because you're pulling back in Morgan Stanley, I think it could end up being that because they're all catching strays today. So I really didn't think that was going to be in play to catch a dip buy in the banks, but I think it will be. Before we quickly.
This is the news. Yeah, go ahead. No, I was talking about Apple, and then you went on a tangent there. But I was just thinking, like, Apple falling back in. That's that Siri news. So a possible delay there in Siri, and just looking at that bottom for maybe a bottom break here with 338, and then you're on SMCI, and then we'll go over to Adara.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly show. Whoops, that's Rivian. So bizarre. I didn't even say Rivian. No, once we broke that prior bar, going to get out. If you're wondering why do you have a random line here at 31.85, it was on my 15-minute chart, and that was like a key level that I had from a few days ago. So when I see it consolidating underneath, I want to take a chance at that gap fill, which I will still also do tomorrow. If I see it in this range again, I'm still looking for the breakdown from here into there. So like that's, to me, that's just a trading area that I want to be involved in. And before we go back to Adara, that American Rebel, so the news is that they're going to the OTC markets and it's still going higher. Actually just got to 55 cents from 40. So it just proves to show. It doesn't mean that a stock can't go up or it is dead because they're going to the OTC markets. Now, obviously, it's not considered a good thing to leave the Nasdaq. It's actually bouncing.
I mean, I'd rather that than, honestly, I'd rather that than reverse split. Like, reverse split is a nightmare for these names. Like, we've seen that happen over and over again, and it's just kind of like, pass on that one.
Adara?
Yeah, we're just going to talk here about these implied earnings moves for tonight. Unfortunately, we're not doing an earnings recap show tonight, though tomorrow after the bell we certainly will. But I do want to talk about some of this here. Between tonight and tomorrow morning, AppLovin with the largest expected move here at 14.8%. Second place, you've got QuantumScape with an 11.9% expected move. Now, McDonald's is interesting. MCD was supposed to report this morning. The report was never released. I checked on their website. They usually do report pre-market, but now I'm seeing indications they're going to report tonight after the bell. Either way, keep an eye on MCD, and if I see anything, I will let you know what's going on. Now, tomorrow morning, we're going to hit AEP, CROX, and NBIS. Both NBIS and CROX with double-digit implied moves. Birkenstock also reporting BIRK before the bell tomorrow. Unfortunately, I could not find an expected move for them at the time I made this visual, which was just now. So no implied move for them yet. But again, if you want to see this visual in more detail and a whole host of other earnings and other infographics, X at TTV Research is your destination. Back to you.
So I just got out of my last stock. You'll see it up here. Just, we're not going to think this is going to go all the way back. Another one of those like mean revert type trades. But here's an interesting story for App. App reports tonight. And look, I've been trading a long time. You look at the markets a long time. I don't think I've ever seen a headline like this. AppLovin pops, and this was a couple of days ago, after short seller Capital Watch apologizes and retracts report.
What's going on with Tesla?
Like that is, like I said, I've never seen that happen. Shout out to, at least, you got to have some respect for that. I think it was something in their research. They just said, we got our research wrong. And it got bought right back up. Kudos to them, because the short sellers have been wrong before on the reports, and then stock just goes up and you never hear anything about it again. But kudos to them for at least having the guts to say they got it wrong.
There goes Tesla. We got out some at VWAP there. We got out some twice. We didn't really believe in it, and then it just popped right into our level again. So we take a 427.20 fill right there on Tesla. So getting lighter and lighter, as we said, exiting some of these trades as the market just right now bounces back there to the upside. Your Trader TV Live water bottles, by the way, almost done right now. All right. Italy's crushing it at the Olympics, by the way. Okay, so Tesla 427.20. We'll see if that can get going. Good long down there at 420. We'll see if we can grab that. Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. There's the move right here on the TQs. Should have gone short. We went long right there, and then that no workout very good, and nice move down there on the TQQs today. We actually didn't focus on this trade. We didn't. I think it might be one of the first days that we didn't really have anything noted on here for the Qs. We had Tesla, IBIT, Nvidia, and Sir Robinhood on there today to trade. Let's have a quick little look at Robinhood. Yeah, the futures, man, bang. I feel like if I ever go long and then it breaks, I just instantly reverse to the short. Something to think about. All right, Robinhood, we liked that 78 level. It's right where it's at right now. We had written down 78. Look at that, 78, bang, right there into the downside. So it looks like it's going to be a good level, but will it hold? We shall not know, because there's only right now 7 minutes until we get these imbalances, and not worth, I mean, if you want to take it quickly, like just a run right now for the next 5 minutes, then I think it's probably worth it on a break. But these are imminent, and especially on earnings, we're expecting to have some kind of an imbalance show up here for this NASDAQ name, right? And NASDAQ doesn't hit till 350. So it'll be interesting when it does hit, but this is what it's looking like right now. If there's any names on here that you're interested in, there's maybe ZSL, but that's not a big number there. Rig, not sure what's going on with that one. 6 million there. It's on 102 million shares today, so that might be a nothing burger as well there on Rig. Just in case you guys were interested on what was going on there, maybe a nothing burger there for that one as we watch out for that. HPQ Ford XOM as a buy. So yeah, that's always the risk when you're looking at something like a Ford, into a 350 imbalance. You never sort of know where it's going to go. So let's sort of clean this up. Out more there. Still waiting for Nvidia to come back up. We're waiting at 191.70 now. That's a little underneath. Maybe we can go to 191.50. Maybe we do get that. I think today's the day to buy some bank stocks. I don't really know the reason for the hit on these names, but it's definitely being hit today, and it's a downside play for these bank names, right? So down 1.3%. You don't get often these ETFs making moves like that. So right now XLF downside, and right at the 200 period, we sort of showed you that would be worth maybe a buy down into that area because this is electronic technology. Look at some of these bank stocks today down into here. Like, you know, there's going to be winners and losers, but primarily Charles Schwab. Like, why are these guys
4%? Like, I'm looking at more. I'm like,
I don't even know why these are down.
I'm sitting there like, why is Morgan Stanley down 1% when like Wells is 3 and Schwab is 4?
Well, the reason why is that there's robo advisors, I think, is what's probably hitting this, which I'm not sure why Goldman Sachs, but some of these names like Charles Schwab, like a Robin. Hey, look, I'm wearing the ICE vest right here.
I mean, Goldman and Morgan aren't as threatened by the whole robo advisor thing. Like, they're still going to make money with all these deals. By the way, Rig might be one side of a merger, I think.
Okay.
So, like closing. So I don't know.
Isn't that Transocean? Isn't that what Rig is?
Yeah, it's Transocean.
Yeah, okay.
I think they must be merging or buying somebody. I just can't I forget the other side of the trade. I was looking it up, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. But I think, but I'm to your point.
What is this? Well,
if you think what's been happening is like people freak out about somebody, whether it's the software names or like right in here. Now it's going to be like banking. They freak out about that, and it ends up being a buying opportunity.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, there's Anthropic releasing. Like they had that sort of attachment. Was it the law, like a law clerk or something like that? And there's like something. So like a lot of these, lawyers and all that like become more efficient if they can get, all of the case studies done faster. And it's just like creating some sort of opportunity there. And there was another one. It was the robo-advisors and some other sector. I mean, obviously, all of SaaS has gotten hit, right? CRM. Like, people think that you're just going to magically build a CRM because you have access to a certain plugin through Anthropic or Claude. Like, I don't think it's that simple, but it's not my space. So I think that's why some names are getting hit. I, really like the energy space, man. I mean, we just bought XLE live on the show at $50.80. And XLE is really blasted. I mean, it was blasted. I don't know if it is today. It was up 3% earlier, 2.5%. So still creating some movements here is XLE for the upside play. So up 2.5%. It was higher when we were here earlier at 11 o'clock. But I really like the energy trade. And we've showed you that it's on a breakout right now, multi-years. You're back to levels of 2014 right now for XLE. So give me back 10 years and take it out to the high side. I cannot believe oil went red during the panic days of COVID there, where nobody had any place to store oil. So next thing you know, it went negative, and they were paying people to take it. And I just wish I had that huge, sort of hole dug in my basement or somewhere where I could, well, not basement, I don't want to light the whole house on fire. But if you had a big
you could just
vat there, you could have taken billions of barrels there and just sold them the very next day. But anyways, XLE, great opportunity there. And XOM has really, and CVX and Valero, and it all kind of, it really got going pretty good. We had that Venezuelan, obviously, story, and that continues to be there as well. But look at XOM. Like, you want to talk about this break. This is 155. the person that would be winning this little contest of ours would be Randy, hand over fist. I have no idea how we missed him. It's because we did this at 3 o'clock or whatever it was.
He was gone. He'd already left.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now, here we have a tracker to show who's in first and who's not. So Obi, great calls, unfortunately disqualified. Adara, though, right now up 11% and crushing it. Here, Brendan, sorry, Brendo, he, myself, and Neil right now all, and come on, Ramin. I mean, we know you're smarter than the rest of us.
This is a space name.
I did not expect Ramin down here. I expected all three of us, but you know the rest of them there. Good call. Fabian has some nice plays there. Let me check out what Joe has for his plays of the year right now. CrowdStrike obviously getting clapped a little bit. Walmart, great call on that one, and then JP Morgan. I mean, I like all of these. I don't own any Walmart, but these two are definite names that I own, and I think right here, Crowd is a name, right, that should have no sort of problems with this whole AI. I mean,
crap, but like they have been getting hit a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
Both Crowd and Palo Alto Palo Alto is going to be closing that Confluent deal sometime in the next quarter or two. They just made a good acquisition there.
So like
both those names, but they are bouncing. That's the thing. Like you get an opportunity to buy the dip, you got to take your shot if you like the space. So you know we were talking about the banks there, same thing. But my goodness,
oil is the one.
Oil, like XOM. I love CVX. You pick your poison. XLE is another good way to go in there. We had some viewers that were saying, well, why don't you look at some of the pipeline names? It was maybe it was 2 days ago or yesterday. We got a super chat about Kinder Morgan, and we're like, yeah, I love that too. But you just pick your horse. If you already got one, you're good to go. And you just ride.
Yep.
And KMI is probably having another good day. I don't want to jinx it, but I haven't looked at them. I'm sure it's at the highs. Like it's one of those things, if you know the space is strong, like whatever, am I going to pull it up and KMI is not going to be? It's not at the high of the day per se, but it's upward trending and up 1.7%. And it did make, hey, look at that. That would be, it literally pressed right into, technically speaking, not a 52-week high because this top is in January 22nd. That's why sometimes I hate the whole 52-week high. What missed it by 2 weeks. It still made it. That's still, it's still at breaking it out. Less than 10 seconds till the imbalances come out. Let's just flash back over here. So RIG and VAL and AVDL is also a buyout. They're being bought by, well, I don't remember. Shoot, it's, who cares? It doesn't really matter. It's another Nasdaq stock that most people have never heard of. But RIG, it looks like that didn't come out as anything. Rigetti is a sell of 1.6 million to the sell side. HBAN, 2.4 million to the sell. Cisco, 1.4 buy. Hey, we're just talking about Palo Alto, 1.4 million buy side on Panned Up. Who knew? It was kind of random. We were just talking about them. Nvidia, I just see there for 900,000. 900,000 on Nvidia is about as big of a nothing burger as you're going to see for an imbalance. It's pretty much nothing. Mobileye, we haven't talked about them in a while, 850,000. So pretty insignificant with the exception of this, which is about deal closing. And Rigetti, 1.6 million sell. That's a decent number for Rigetti. Actually, Rigetti is diddling in the middle. It's not really doing much of anything.
All right. Yes, thanks everybody for watching. We do get the epic move on Tesla. So there it goes right there, man. Really, really enjoying trading this stock today. We'll be back tomorrow with more trades on Tesla. But let's go over and find out who's making all the money here at Real Trading. This is brought to you by Real Trading. We have something here. Here's a story on RIG right now. So we can get the story on RIG and see what this is doing here. Here's a list of tonight's largest single stock imbalances. So these are just lists before they hit they're just reading off of the imbalance locator, so we're giving that to you live anyways. All right, here we go. Compare your profits. So this is where you could check on how other traders are doing here at Real Trading. It only is going to show the top 10 traders, and it's going to show you by market here, and then we're going to go to the actual top traders, and it's always the same markets, man, these days, Canada, TSX. Generally speaking, we can get, okay, here's a trader that's traded everything. Generally, you can get a market like a Blue Ocean, or sometimes there's, you know, if Turkey's hot or something's going on, that's more around October, November when Turkey's real good. But Amex, there's the NASDAQ coming through yesterday. So someone made 29, 28. These are all in US dollars. Someone in Canada, okay, well, hey, man, there was a dance for the top spot there here yesterday. Yeah, Amex Canada, TSX, again, Nasdaq, Amex New York, Amex, and then this trader has taken advantage of all, not all, but some of these markets that we have access to in Europe. We have over 60 markets, although on the show we only trade US markets, but we do have Neil trade some buyouts on Canada. We talk about that sometimes. But other than that, man, Amex, Nasdaq, Amex right there. And that's about it. And here's some of the other markets that we trade. The top trader made 1,400 in Paris, 1,400 in Milan. Shout out to the Olympics there. Amsterdam, New York, Hong Kong, and trader 2,300. And then here's the top traders by market as well. So whoever that trader was at the top, pretty much made it all on Amex, right? With that, so there's one individual trader that made almost 30 grand on the Amex exchange yesterday, and then just alone on Canada as well. 28 right there. Yes, unfortunately, a guy from work. Great calls by Obi, right? But he just played by different rules. That's all. You were unable to short, and it's great. He wanted to do it. He knew he was disqualified.
Well, because we told him right before. It's like, yeah. By the way, they have to be S&P 500. He's like, yeah.
No, just to go short.
It's because
that's all.
It's because he had his picks, and he's like, well, I'm not going to redo them, so he just kind of submitted them, which is fine. Like he loves that whole you get the back end of a stock which is falling apart. Right?
No, it's just it's only because of Sidhu. That's all. I mean, it's just this is the name. He took this short, so it's just like that's fine. But like we didn't talk about, and we could redo it, And like next time when we do this, maybe we'll redo it at the halfway mark or something, and then we'll just open it up that you could take any trade, period, that you want to take, right? And it was just that we had said that if you're going to short, be an S&P 500 name. He also violated it, of course, because he shorted Circle. But at the end of the day, he knew what he was doing, and they're great calls. So I don't know how you're going to find Boros or whatever for Sidious, but he went short on that and also on Circle. So they've both been great calls, man. I mean, so it's about giving credit where credit is due. That is for sure. There's Circle breaking its IPO price, to the downside. So I think that I think you could have won. You could have easily won this thing by just shorting any recent IPO, right? And so,
but like the funny thing was, I joked about it, but I was kind of half serious. Like I was just like I would just short Beyond Meat at $1.
Yeah. No, there's lots of look. Obi is.
But like
we made some good calls.
It's the logic of it, right? Like you find something. I think because Sidhu, you just find something at the beginning of the year, which was in a bit of it's in a downtrend, but it was trying to push back into the highs. Like look at that downward trend. I'm pretty sure Sidhu was just the same thing. By the way, 655 just hit. Yeah, so the same thing. It was trying to push back up after finding the back end of the trade. Here we go. So
I also guarantee you that Obi doesn't hold any of those trades in his own account. This is all fake money, by the way.
All the imbalances that were there are pretty much gone. I don't see anything that's holding up.
Yeah, no, they're all. I mean, look
still $1 million.
Look what Tesla's doing. Congratulations, man! Like everybody that was running this stock today, man. The #1 name on the sticky note's going to end up with a $7 winner. There. So it's just an absolute monster play. Obi will be in this exact seat. You guys are all going to get a great Friday. He'll be here for me on Friday. So you'll see Obi here, and he can tell you all about those plays.
I've never shorted anything in my personal account. Like I just don't. Like I don't swing short anything like that. But I know Obi does. So it's entirely possible that he has shorted Circle in his personal account. Like I don't know that he has.
I don't know
one way or another.
He hadn't.
Okay,
I had asked him.
I know. Like I literally shorts for day trading for myself. Everything else is kind of like a long only, old school, old fashioned call it. But I know he'll buy puts on stocks that he thinks are trash. Yeah. And why not? But.
And remember, guys, like take your own advice. Like we don't even show our
a trade's a trade.
Like that's fake money, Like you guys got to figure out what you're doing. I own all the stocks.
Well, it's the funny thing is I own both the two of the three. I pivoted on one of them, but it was a stock I was going to buy anyways, and so I picked some up as a short play in the TFSA, which was CRISPR. I had bought AVAV like 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
So like it's all, and I'm like I'll keep the pick. I'm like yeah, fine. It already went 40%. But I'll keep the pick because I own the darn thing, and I do own Freeport McMoran.
Here, these are the
as well. I said that in December that I like Freeport, so I just made that one of my picks.
Yeah, Freeport's a good one. That's 11% here. CRISPR down 12, AVAV down 35% right now. Big Bear AI is my 30% down play as well. Here's Marvell and Eli Lilly. Let's go over and see what Adara has right here. Boeing, great call. Love Boeing. Again, I don't own this short, but there we go, Adara. Of course, Adara playing by the rules, so that's a good one there. We'll go bang on that one. She's shorting Oracle right there, so that's an absolutely, and she believed in that. Adara, literally, I need to write this girl a check. I mean, she saved me a lot of money on that Oracle trade. So there it goes, man, 23% down. That's, to me, this is the best pick, period, out of all of these picks. Let me see what Fabian's up to over here. There it is, man. Fabian with the silver. This guy's been talking about silver for a minute, so let's drop down the money for Fabian. Picking AG there, a Canadian name. We had to convert it over to the U.S. But it was Dollarama. He wanted one of the dollar stores. We had to pick Dollarama here in Canada. And then, unfortunately, Fabian, Bitcoin. It'll be back, my guy. We'll see. We bought some Bitcoin there today as well. But we'll just keep updating those trackers as we go. But yeah, it just depends on, obviously, the timing of those plays. And we bought some Bitcoin today at 66. We'll see if it can wind up holding some of those levels. I basically want to buy, I'll buy at 66, we'll buy at 56, we'll buy at 46, and we'll buy some more at 16. But as it gets down into the downside there. Yeah, man, here's another one. You could have, David, just as you just put in there, you on the super chat, thank you for the super chat, you could have done that SNDK trade. I'm just going to call it up here so everybody can see this here. And I'm going to, oh, it's already up. Okay. Yeah. There, at Obi. Is Obi even in the chat? I don't know if he's in the just got 550 SNDK put one contract. There it is. So stick to your plan. That's exactly what it's all about, man. Stick to your plan. David, I just said that right there. So good job on that one.
He's been bearish on SNDK, and well, from talking to him, I know he's been bearish on it in these 600s for sure. With less than a minute to go, everybody, we'll see what happens. It wasn't anything too crazy outside of those deals that we're closing, and you're going to see much more of that here as everything is more or less paired off. I don't know what AVTR is, but with 30 seconds to go, tomorrow we do have more big earnings. After the bell, Adara did mention there will be Cisco and McDonald's will be reporting. We'll for sure cover both those in the morning.
Oh, I got to get rid of my Nvidia.
Probably going to be some movers, I would suspect. McDonald's.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
Everyone likes them but Joe. That one kind of gets me. I feel like everyone has.
Man, Joe ain't even have pie yet, okay? So forget about Joe.
But you should try the McDonald's apple pie. It's actually not bad.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be a real pie. Here we go. McDonald's, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I like McDonald's. I still own McDonald's. That's actually near highs, MCD. Talk about near highs, man. Tesla made it all the way back, not to its high, but took out VWAP, closed at the highs of the day, despite its first 10 minutes right there. So that's a good one there. You are welcome, easy peasy, man. This is what we're all about. We're celebrating those chicken dinner winners, and it's really nice to see because easy peasy, I know that you are a trader that puts up actual capital into your trade. So hopefully that was a good one for you there, easy peasy there on Tesla. So congratulations there to everybody.
That money.
Long-term, which equity? So you can actually... You want a trick for in Canada?
What's the question?
You could buy IBIT. There's an actual IBIT. We don't have it in our system, but IBIT is actually traded in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So you can actually get the ETF IBIT. That's how I buy it, with Canadian dollars. Just like Nvidia. Nvidia has a CDR. So this is why I realized that I had all these shares. I have way more Meta than I thought because I own a lot of it in Canada, right? So these are the CDRs. So these are Canadian hedged, and you could see the money fly through on those. Here's McDonald's, just came out with earnings. You could see kablamo right there on McDonald's earnings, up to 331. So they're shooting up right now on MCD on their report. So there goes McDonald's to the high side, man. It's been a great day. What a comeback. I was saying to both Neil and Brendan there that I thought we had one of the best shows of all time on the morning show. Will look to be that and better tomorrow.
Always. It was that battle back, man. The market battled back, and ultimately is going to close green. It was a red to green morning as well, and it looks like McDonald's is also going to go from red to green, kind of keeping that theme in here. We'll be back in the morning. I want to give a big shout out. Look, we had Brent this morning, was a fantastic guest, and we had Luis in the midday as well, joining Sharif and Joe, and always fantastic guests. And Thank you guys so much, and thank you for all the kind words, and Thank you for the super chats. We'll be back at it bright and early. We'll cover McDonald's earnings. We'll cover Cisco earnings. We'll cover everything that moves, and we'll do it, and we'll have some fun as well. We're Trader TV Live, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. See you then.